Terence Watanabe is an enigma to many people because we ordinary folk cannot fathom his playing style. Depending on the source, Terence lost between $127 to $205 million over the course of his gambling career. Whether the true figure is at the low or the high end of that range, it does not matter because it's still the biggest poker loss in history. Terence Watanabe from Nebraska took over the Oriental Trading Company, his father's business, in 1977, which is mostly dealing with party accessories and toys. The company's yearly income exceeded $300 million when Terence sold it to Brenton Associates in 2000. However, the workaholic couldn't bear having free time and first became the prisoner of alcohol and then got addicted to gambling. In 2007, Watanabe began a losing streak of proportions never seen before. Staying at the Caesars Palace on the Las Vegas Strip, Terence Watanabe was classified as the biggest of the big whales and had a virtual run on the place. If he didn't like a certain employee, he or she was reassigned in the casino. Whatever he wanted, Terence got. According to the first reports by Harris Entertainment, he had lost about $127 million in Rio and Caesars Palace, but it later turned out that they had underestimated his losses, which truly added up to around $204 million. According to some reports, and Mr. Watanabe's lawyer, Caesars allowed Mr. Watanabe to play while clearly intoxicated, and some reports say that they gave him painkillers to stay at the tables. Other reports say that the company looked the other way when Mr. Watanabe made sexual advances towards female employees. Why would Caesars allow such behavior to continue? While not much of his losses were technically in poker, the total amount was an astonishing 5.6% of the company's revenue for the year, money that ultimately flowed into the World Series of Poker brand. Eventually, the money dried up and Terence Watanabe left Vegas broke and owing Caesars around $14.7 million. The company ultimately sued and felony charges were taken out against Mr. Watanabe in 2009 for felony theft and writing bad checks. Watanabe filed charges against Caesars claiming that it had agreed to refund him 30% of his losses but never made payment. This type of agreement is customary for high rollers as it usually facilitates prompt payment for markers to the casinos and keeps them coming back. According to William Thompson from Nevada University, refunding high-volume players is a standard procedure in which they get 25 to 30% of their losses back depending on personal agreement. He also says that the greed shown by Harris Entertainment describes the whole world of the gambling industry, which is negative advertising for the whole of Las Vegas. Watanabe's lawyer attacked the casino's attitude, saying that Terence had intentionally been given prescription drugs and alcohol to keep him playing. They took advantage of his addictions to defraud him out of tens of millions of dollars. There was a concerted effort from the highest levels of management to keep him gambling. They targeted him and then took advantage of his vulnerabilities. Shortly after the Caesars lawsuit, it was revealed that Watanabe had been suspended from the Wynn for compulsive gambling. According to reports, Watanabe gambled over $21 million at the Wynn casino. Steve Wynn himself called up Watanabe to ask him to leave the casino due to his compulsive gambling. Interestingly enough, it was after this that Watanabe made his connections with Caesars Palace. A year after Terence was accused for theft and bad check charges, both parties agreed to a settlement in the matter. While the settlement was initially private, it did result in all charges being dropped against Watanabe. He also agreed to drop all pending lawsuits against Caesars. Later, it was revealed that Watanabe agreed to pay Caesars $100,000 of the $14.75 million it claimed was owed. New Jersey Gaming Control Board fined Caesars Entertainment for $225,000 for not stepping in to take action in case of Mr. Watanabe. The fine was a bit curious considering that the activity occurred in Las Vegas. However, the company does have several properties in the Atlantic City area, and the NGC felt that the Caesars conduct might reflect on the reputation of the state of New Jersey. Mr. Watanabe's story is really a cautionary tale for anyone wanting to gamble at high stakes. High rollers can't always guarantee that their best interests are being considered when they are at a casino.